Welcome to the Dad Math Podcast, where we talk about what it's really like to raise a family in our modern economy. I'm your host, Greenback Zach Mineur, certified financial planner professional and chief investment officer at Independent Square Advisors. Subscribe and hit that bell to stay in the loop. I work with a lot of young professionals, many that didn't grow up with a ton of money, but now they're crushing it in their careers and their incomes are rising. As far as problems go, this is definitely a good one to have. But it can still be a problem if they're falling into the income trap. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So imagine a household pulling in $400,000 a year. Two incomes, good jobs, 3,500 square foot house, nice cars, kids in good schools, crushing it by any external measure. But when you pull open their household balance sheet, they have a total of like $40,000 in an old 401k. They aren't contributing anything to their current one. And their emergency fund consists of the $10,000 to $15,000 that they have in their checking account at any given time. They also have an $800,000 mortgage and $20,000 of credit card debt that they keep telling themselves they will get to when the kids are out of daycare or when that next promotion happens or whatever that next milestone is. Meanwhile, the can gets kicked down the road and it compounds interest at 20-something%. If that sounds ridiculous with that level of income, well, it is, but I see it fairly often. And maybe not even to that level of extreme, but even folks who think they're in a good position may realize that they're not on track to fund their retirement and other goals on the path that they're on. So the income trap is the phenomenon where higher income actually makes it harder, not easier, to build wealth. And it happens for four main reasons. Reason number one, lifestyle creep. This is obvious, but it still creeps up on people. As your income goes up, your spending tends to go up with it. Bigger house, nicer car, better vacations, private school, country clubs, more meals out, more convenience spending, all the things. The problem occurs when they happen automatically and unconsciously, when your spending rises to meet your income without an intentional decision being made. That's lifestyle creep. And it's insidious because each individual upgrade feels completely reasonable in isolation. The problem is when you add it all up. In my soon-to-be-out book, Dad Math, I describe a concept I call the budgeting Kármán line. The Kármán line is the technical boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space, about 62 miles up. For most people, $250,000 to $300,000 of household income is the financial equivalent of that boundary. It's around there when you can hit escape velocity from daily budgeting. You stop tracking because you can afford most of the things you want to buy in isolation. But in the aggregate, all of those small purchases that you didn't think about suddenly become a $100,000 credit card spend by the end of the year and no savings in your retirement plans. Reason number two, the comparison trap. Here's something the research consistently shows, and this is one of the more uncomfortable truths in personal finance. High earners tend to compare themselves to other high earners. Your reference group shifts as your income rises. The people you're around, the neighborhood you live in, the schools your kids go to, all of these create a new baseline for what feels normal. And when everyone around you is spending at a certain level, spending less than that feels like deprivation. This is often called keeping up with the Joneses, but I think that phrase kind of undersells how powerful and subconscious the effect actually is. It's not just vanity. It's a deeply human social mechanism that was quite useful for much of human history and is now working against you in your 401k. Reason number three, complexity without systems. As your income grows, your financial life gets more complicated. You've got more accounts, more tax documents, more decisions to make, and crucially, more options. And here's the thing about complexity. For many people, it creates paralysis. When something feels complicated and overwhelming, the natural human response is to delay dealing with it, which means that a lot of high earners have financial lives that are technically sophisticated on the surface, multiple investment accounts, business equity compensation, real estate, but there's no coherent strategy tying it all together. And that makes sense. They're busy. They're good at their jobs. They tell themselves they'll sort it out when things slow down. Spoiler alert, they never slow down. Reason number four, the need scales with the income. Your future needs will almost always scale up along with your current income. And if you don't also scale up your savings along with your income, you will not achieve those goals. As your income goes up during your working years, so too do your expectations of what your retirement will look like. If your savings habits are based on dollar amounts and not percentages, like you are saving $2,000 a month into your brokerage account and $300 a month into your kid's 529, but then when your income goes up 50% and your savings only go up 10%, you are now saving for what your old income could provide. So when you earned $150,000 a year and saved 20% of your income, you were doing pretty good and saving $30,000 a year. But when your household income went up to $400,000 a year and you only bumped up your savings $10,000 in dollar terms, now you're only saving 10%. So the goal is to base your savings on percentages, always. Make sure as your income goes up, your savings go up by that exact same percentage. This is the habit of paying yourself first, setting aside a fixed percentage of every dollar that comes in before lifestyle gets its hands on it. What does this actually look like in practice? The antidote to the income trap isn't complicated, it's not sexy, but it works. First, you have to know your numbers. What percentage of your income are you actually saving right now? Not what you think you're saving, what you're actually saving. You got to pull the statements, do the math, and face the number. Most high earners haven't done this exercise in a while, if ever, and the results are usually illuminating. Second, automate the savings before lifestyle can spend it. Create your savings plan and then automate it. The most powerful thing you can do is set up automatic contributions to your retirement accounts, investment accounts, and other savings accounts at the beginning of every month. Pay yourself first, not what's left over after expenses. And if you do that, then your budget takes care of itself, because once you are done with your savings, then do you. Enjoy the rest. Third, if you've got a partner, get aligned. This is one of the most underrated factors in financial outcomes. Two people with different spending instincts, different histories, and no shared financial framework will consistently underperform their income no matter how much they make. The money conversation between partners can be uncomfortable. You have to have it anyway. Preferably before you get married and have kids, but I get it. That level of financial foresight during the honeymoon period is hard to come by. But sooner rather than later, you and your partner have to be aligned on your goals and your plan. So, the dad math on this is that a high income isn't a plan. It's one of the raw materials that goes into the plan. The habits you build, the systems you put in place, the lifestyle decisions you make consciously rather than by default. That's your financial plan. The income trap is real, and it grabs people precisely because it is quiet and only affects you if you are, by definition, doing pretty well. But that's why it's dangerous. So, fight it with dad math. Thanks for watching this episode. Hit subscribe, share this with that friend who just got a raise, and I'll see you next time.